Oh my.
Smokes. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2012. It is also a Tuesday. We're going to go over the trades that we took this morning in the live trading room, the trades that we didn't take, and everything else. Everything in between. All right. Let's start right off over here on the S4 tick range. Okay, the morning started out right here. Okay, this was a pre-market one right here. Some of the guys in the room questioned it right here, and I said it did qualify. I didn't take it because it was pre-market. It did go a point, and I said if I did take that, my stop would have been at break-even. The entry would have been over here at 1345 quarter. It went up to 1346.75. So from 45 quarter, your stop would have been at 47 quarter. If you did take that, I would have gotten stopped out of break even, I think. But if you did take it and you didn't move your stop up, you got your 2 points on that. The next opportunity was right here. We didn't have a trade there because we had this space right in here. Okay, that was on the 4 tick range. We were waiting then for it to put in a lower swing. Now, earlier this morning when it tried to do this right here, we had drawn a line. You can see this blue line over here. We had said that we expect that to be a shoulder, the low part of the right shoulder of a head and shoulders formation. And we're looking for it to probably get down to there. So to rally a little bit from this low over here, probably back up to the zone, and then work its way down to that line. And that's exactly what it did. You can see our one trade that we did take over here on the 4 tick range this morning. We had a lower swing right here. It pulled back up to the BBC. We entered it MIT. I was quick with my stop on this one, getting out of it, because we didn't really have a good bubble down here. We never really had a good bubble. I blew it up as much as I could, and it was really hard to discern whether we had one or not. So I got out of that trade at break even. And that was the one trade opportunity that we had this morning on the 4 tick range. I mean, there's another one right here. We do have a fresh bubble. It pulled back to the BBC right here, so you would have been looking to get in here at the BBC at 44.5. Okay, from there it moved up to 45.5. My stop would have been a break even. I'd be out of that trade now, break even. Moving a little to a little bit larger time frame here. We're at the 10,000 contract. This morning at 9:34. This was the same, well, pretty close to the same spot this morning as this right here. Okay, on the 10,000 contract chart. So we were waiting in here because we thought this was going to consolidate and pull all the way back up here to the weekly trading zone. We didn't take this trade, but it was the first pullback to the BBC after a bearish cross. Okay, you can see that that worked out just fine. Over here, it did go down to this level that I had put in there, and I thought that if we closed down below that, we would have a big move down. That big move down has not happened yet. All the news that we had this morning was pre-market, so I think that may have something to do with it. Yeah, we had a couple of medium impact things at 10 o'clock, but nothing really to speak of. All right, from there we had a bullish cross right here with a pullback down to the BBC, but we weren't going to go long because we had support right above us. And now the cycle's up high, crossing down. It looks like it's trying to put in a possible short trade off of the resistance area up here. Okay, I'm going to take this off of there because we don't really need that anymore. I did take a trade over here on the YM. Let's see, I went short. I think I took more than one trade. I took a break-even trade right here on the YM, okay, and then I took another trade where I lost over here. This is where it was. Okay, I took a trade here this morning on the YM. I went short right there. It went down to here, and I moved my stop to break-even. It came back and got me out of break-even. All right, I was looking for it to close the window of opportunity over here. When it didn't close the window of opportunity and it started to move up against us, I got out of the trade. Okay. If I'd have left my risk on, it still would have stopped me out because I only had 7 ticks risk or 8 ticks risk on it. So then we waited, and Dwayne had a short going on over here. He had pointed out when the price was up here, he had pointed out that he liked to short down here below 12,809. I believe that was right. It was either 12,809 or 12,808. I drew this little black line in there, and from there it dropped down 12,809. Yeah, it dropped down 20 ticks for a possible 20 tick profit trade. All right. This was my second trade of the morning on the YM. I didn't put the follow-up arrow on it. I only had 9 ticks risk on this trade. And you can see the result right here. It was 9 ticks loss on the YM. 8 contracts, 9 ticks, 72 ticks total. We had a lower pivot. We had a bearish cross down below the BBC. So price pulled back up to the BBC. I shorted there, and it never really went in my favor. A couple of ticks, but never really anything. And then it went against me and came back, but it stopped me out over here, okay, with a 9 tick stop. I would have needed about 16 ticks risk to get anything out of that trade, but the market really didn't favor it. There was another opportunity in here. This was right at the end of the morning session, right there. All right, I'm going to mark that with an orange arrow because the trades that I actually take, I mark with yellow. And the trades that I do not actually take, I mark with orange. All right. That would have been an opportunity right there after the bullish cross to pull back down to the BBC for the move up. Hardly any risk at all taken out of that. You would have been looking to enter on that one probably at 800, 801 or 802, right in that range, and it drew down to 798. Okay. It looks like it's trying to put in a short trade right here, right now. As a matter of fact, all the markets look like they're starting to fail off of another attempt at the weekly trading zone here. Okay, we would look for this to cross down, this to cross down. Price to get down below the elbow on the 4-tick range. The 2100, you can see we've moved down below the, well, obviously below the MA1. The entry would have been up here. And on the 2100 over here with the BBC on it, we would look for a bearish cross. Okay. Whew. All right. That was that market. Now let me jump over here to the 6E. Okay. All right. I'm just going to show quickly on the 6E this morning some of the trades that had happened, that had set up and happened from the open. We'll go. Okay. We were already well below the MA1 over here when we got the cross down with the white to the left of the green. Your risk on that would have been up above here. It would have been up above 3180. Your entry would have been down here at 3174. So if that fits into your risk tolerance, it was an opportunity to trade that one down right there. Okay, we didn't have another opportunity until over here, where the white was to the left of the green. Right in here is where you've been looking to short, 3137. Your risk on that would have had to have been above here at above 3143, so you would have 7 or 8 ticks of risk on that. And that one, it actually only dropped about 4 or 5 ticks. Okay. On the move up over here, your risk would have had to have been down below here. Okay, where the white moved up right here, even over here, where the white moved up. You would have had to have had your risk down below this swing right here. Okay. 31, 32 probably is where your risk would have had to have been, and you would have been waiting for the close up above. So if you did it over here with this much risk, well, then you would have still been in the trade on this one. But we'll say the close up above 31.42. That's a pretty significant amount of risk. You would have needed at least 10 ticks risk, which is 2.5 points on the ES, to stay in the trade. It did move up from 31.42 all the way up to the zone up above at 31.55. So there would have been 13, even better than 13 tick profit on it. It moved down and there was no opportunity in here. Right over here, you can see, what time is this? 12:05. This is when the volume starts to drop off. After 11:30, really, after 11:30, the volume really starts to drop off. So the trades from like 11:30 on are much slower moving. But I'll just point it out anyway. You would have been looking to go long once the white moved to the left and turned up right here. Okay, that would have put your entry in here and your risk down here. That would have stopped you out right there. All right. All right, that was the 6E this morning. I have some things that I want to show on the Russell, but I'm not going to show them right now. I want to show some things in the partners meeting this week about the Russell. All right, so with that, I've been going for a little bit here, and we've had David sitting in the green room for a few minutes. If nobody's got any questions, and I don't see any new ones typed in, so if nobody's got any questions, then I am going to stop the recording. I'm going to stop the recording anyway.